So I was just looking at the noise level on 30 meters and comparing my 30 meter inverted V up in the pines, apex at about 26 feet, 28 feet, whatever, comparing it to my 80 meter end-fed wire, which I can get a perfect match on. I'm using here, I'll show you, hang on. Things are a little shaky. The black alligator clip is the antenna wire, and it's connected to the 4-to-1 tap. Hang on. I always do this. I start doing this, and I leave my little fan on. Okay, so let me clear the TX. Hang on. Okay, let's take a look at the standing wave ratio, and this is using my 80 meter end fed wire. Okay, using the 80 meter end fed wire, let's see if there's anyone here. Nope. Look at the standing wave ratio. Perfect match. Okay, so now let's take a look at the noise level. Right now I've got a lot of electrical interference, but as you'll see, you probably won't hear it on the inverted V. Just watch for a second and listen. This is the 80 meter end fed, okay? So every few seconds you get that grinder, that rat. Okay, so I'm going to reach up and click my little antenna switch from the end fed to the inverted V in V, and you'll know when I do it. Okay. As I sit here, it doesn't sound like too much difference in noise level because I've got the volume cranked up, hoping that my phone might record a little of it. Take note of the silly little pan adapter type, the spectrum display. Look at the noise level between those signals. That's on the inverted V. I'm going to click to the end fed. There. Look at that. Is that wild? Let's call that, what? There goes the electrical grinder, but between those bursts, looks like an S7, pretty much. I'm going to click back to the inverted V, about an S2. The grinder, when it comes along, it'll go from an S2 up to about an S4. That noise burst, well, it's not really burst, but there it is, S5. Okay, from an S2 to an S5. So a 3-unit S unit increase in that noise. Let's watch back on the 80 meter end fed and see just what the increase is when that noise comes along. So it's about an average of an S7. Hang on. It won't be long. It's really annoying. It makes use almost, well, let's call it 5 dB over 9. So from an S7 to a 5 dB over 9, that's 23 dB. Yeah, that's a little more of an increase. The noise isn't as offensive on the inverted V. That's for darn sure. Hang on. Okay, so I just ended up on this frequency. I slid up and down the band a little bit and just ended up here for no real reason. Listen to the difference in sound. I'm going to turn this thing up kind of loud, so hopefully you can hear a little signal and a little noise. This phone's miserable, man. Anyway, hang on. And we're going to start on the end fed, the 80 meter end fed. And I'll just reach up and click over. in a moment. I don't know if you can hear that real high-pitched station calling, but you'd never have heard that on the unfed. Hang on. Okay, lastly, although I only started out meaning to show the difference in noise level, take a look at the difference in signal level on an FT, on a digital signal here, which is about the only worthwhile use of a digital signal. Certainly not going to decode it, not here. So yeah, we'll start out on the 80 meter unfed and take a look-see. Hang on, let me turn this up. And so when he transmits for a second, I'm going to reach up and click over to the inverted V, and it'll be apparent when I do. There, that one was pretty dramatic. He is far, far stronger on the inverted V. But that's usually the case, but not always. Sometimes I'll sweep up and down the band with it connected to the inverted V and hear really nothing. You know, sweep up and down, nothing heard. And I'll reach up and click over and switch to the 80 meter end-fed wire and run across some astonishingly strong signals. And clicking back and forth between the inverted V and the unfed, I mean, they're strong as heck with the unfed, with the 80 meter unfed wire, and gone on the inverted V. I've seen that happen a few times, but not too often. Anyway, maybe this was useful. Probably not. 73. And I thought I would just mention that it sounds like I'm trashing the unfed wire. I'm not. I'm operating it on 30 meters on 10.1 megahertz. And its resonant frequency is whatever. It's in the 35, I think it's 30, whatever, 3550, let's call it. Let's round it up or down. So I'm operating the wire on an off resonant frequency, and I'm just transforming out the impedance difference, right? And yeah, I achieve a perfect match, but it's not a resonant antenna on 30 meters. So A, that. B, they're incredibly easy to erect. You throw one end up over something, that's it. You know. And C, you don't worry about the differences between an end-fed and a dipole, or the differences between an end-fed and a vertical. Jesus, park you in one place, because you have the antenna you have, and there's differences between them, and you take either one. You're going to work lots of stations. You'll hear lots of signals. Is the end-fed noisier than any of the others? Yeah, I don't know. We can take a look and see. On my 40 meter, end fed wire that I just strung up to play with, to test, because I do have the 40 meter inverted V and pretty close to the 30 meter inverted V, in fact. So, and the end fed wires are pretty close to being, they start at the window and venture forth. So we'll do that. We'll take a look at the 40 meter end fed wire and compare it to a 40 meter moderately low inverted V, see what the differences are there. But I will say this, I'll swing you back around. Oh, sorry about that, I dropped my phone. So my 80 meter end fed wire, I don't have anything else to compare it to, but I will say this, it works astoundingly good. I'm holding this by hand, by the way, so sorry about the shakes. I feel like Shakes the Clown in the movie. My 80 meter wire works astoundingly good. And let's look at my homebrew crap. It does, and it's not very noisy. At least I don't have noise like we just saw on the 30 meter band. Anyway, 73.